class. We're going to be talking about 3 areas in particular for your career assessment and career exploration. We'll discuss a little bit about some of what to look for during that career planning process. We'll go into some detail about some assessment resources that all of you have access to, and then we'll wrap up with some of that information that you can use for future job success, some of that advice. So if you have any questions as we're going through the material today, through the presentation, please feel free to, if you want to unmute, we'll try to get your questions answered. If you'd like to put it in the chat box, that would be great as well. But once again, hello everyone. And if you would like, feel free to put your name in and which campus you're at for our students and alumni who've joined us. If you want to let us know which campuses you're at, and we'll do a quick shout out to everyone. But as you're putting that information in there, when it comes to your career planning process, and let me say this too, we're so happy you're here with us at Ivy Tech. We're biased, but we do hear from our employer partners how much they love Ivy Tech students and graduates. They love Ivy Tech candidates. For our employer consultants and talent connection managers who are on the presentation today, they are busy. They have many employers reaching out to them about job opportunities for all of you. But as part of that process, when it comes to being here to Ivy Tech, eventually looking for a job, or if you're currently working, looking for advancement or promotional opportunities, or for those of you who are thinking about military or transfer options after you finish your Ivy Tech degree, it's always helpful to do a little bit of that assessment as part of that process. And in some ways, you can think of the assessment process as an X-ray of your work personality. So when we're going to the doctor or to see a nurse, they may take a quick X-ray of us to see how things are going inside of us. Assessments are the same way. Of course, we know ourselves the best, but an assessment can really help you look a little bit more closely into your work personality. So it's a great part with the assessment. So I'm just going to take a quick look at the chat here. I'm glad to see we have a number of our students and graduates here. I see people from Evansville, Indianapolis, Terre Haute, Warsaw. Yeah, if you just want to say hello and tell us which campus you're at, that's great as well. So wonderful to see everyone today. And as I was saying earlier, as we're going through the information, through the slides today, we're discussing the assessment resources. Feel free to put some of your questions into the chat, or to use the little raise your hand icon and unmute, and we can get those questions answered. So when it comes to assessments, the one that Ivy Tech has been focusing on is Ivy Career Strong. It's a fairly new one for us. We started using it in the summer. And again, we love it. So our CCEC staff took a look at a number of different resources and chose this one. And what I'll do at this point, let me just toggle back to my browser, because the easiest way to get to your Ivy Career Strong is through your My Ivy account. So if you want, feel free to go into your My Ivy account while we're chatting. And what you're going to be doing is going to the quick links, and you can click on See All. This is my Ivy account, so it has a few more applications in there. But if you scroll down, it'll be in alphabetical order. And if you can click on Ivy Career Strong, it's right there. One thing I just want to say, when you're clicking on it, if a splash box comes up and asks you to share information, say yes. I'm going to go into a little bit of detail about this, but the reason why it's asking for you to say yes is so that you can share your information with your career coach, with your campus career coach. If you say no, it will kick you out to another page. So if you haven't had the chance to do so already, feel free to take the assessment, IB Career Strong. It only takes about 20 minutes, but what's really nice is once you finish that, you can go over to the left navigation bar and click on View Results. So I'll bring up the ones that come up for mine, and we'll just dig a little deeper into all of this.
Jessica, we cannot see your shared screen.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, JJ
thank you.
put the link in the chat. So if everybody wants to go there, there's the link there.
Great.
But yeah, we were still seeing your PowerPoint slide. So.
Okay. I'll share my whole screen then. So I'll go back to that. So yes, as you're going through that, feel free to work on that. So what I did is I'll just go back to my IV here. So we started from my IV, and then you'll be clicking on all the quick links here on See All, and then just go through and look for IV Career Strong. It'll be in alphabetical order. And I just wanted to check in the chat here. We have a few more people from Lafayette, Anderson. Great to see all of you. Columbus as well. Thank you. So again, if you haven't gone into IV Career Strong before and it does have that splash box come up, just say yes. But once you've finished it, you'll be clicking on the results, the super strong results. And it's so thorough. It'll give you a lot of great information into your personality. And I'm just going to go off on a slight tangent here, because when we're working, or the type of job or career that we're looking for, of course, we want it to fit our skills, have a good match with our skills, but we also want it to have a good match with our personality. So one example that I give frequently when we're chatting about future careers and jobs, some people really love working out in the field, or they love traveling, or they love visiting other locations. Other people may prefer more of a central location, or they may prefer more of an office environment. So seeing what fits well with your particular personality. So this is what's really nice with IB Career Strong. It will give you a little bit of that insight, a little bit of that X-ray into your personality. And then it will connect you, it will connect that information to some of the interests, the work activities, skills, and values. And then scrolling down further, it will go into more, take your personality and talk about the type of work style, even your learning environment, which will be so helpful now, leadership, risk-taking, and team orientation. Any questions about what we've discussed so far, what we've been chatting about? So I'm just seeing here, so some of our students have been sharing that when they've been logging into the website, it says something went wrong. Our recommendation is, and our CCEC staff who are on the call with me, and Jess Jagger as well, I think what may need to be done is to log out completely and then go back in again and click on that splash box when it says yes. And Jess has also offered, if you're still having trouble logging into IB Career Strong, feel free to send her a direct message. So it's just that little tricky part. I'll try to make a long story short, but what's happening is when you complete IB Career Strong, it will share the results with your career coach. So the career coaches for your campus will then have access to this. So what would really be great, I'm going to get on my soapbox here, but what would really be great is once you complete IB Career Strong, reach out to your career coach for your campus, the career coaches on your campus, schedule a meeting, and then they can go into a little more detail about the results for that. But many students find this third part very valuable, the career interests. So if you've chosen a degree program or a career path already, that's great. This can still help you do a little more research into that specific area. But if you're still thinking about what direction you would like to go in once you finish an Ivy Tech degree, or if you're still thinking about which program or major to choose at Ivy Tech, this area can be very helpful for that. And it'll let you say if you like or dislike it. I would, again, this is the one that I completed over the summer. And I've shared this with a number of people and with a number of students in classes. So pretty much this lines up with who I am, except for the accounting one. So accounting is a great field, very in demand. And like all of these programs that we have here at Ivy Tech, employers are looking for students or looking for you with those backgrounds. But for me, personally, for accounting, it wouldn't be a good match. I have a tendency to switch numbers around, whether it's in phone numbers or in Excel documents. So that wouldn't be one of my strengths. So still, it provides a lot of great information, but it's not always perfect, but it can still provide you with that additional information when you're wanting to do a little more research into those areas. Any questions beforehand before we move on? I see one from Sandra in here in terms of taking it again. I'm glad you mentioned that, Sandra, because I'm going to talk a little bit about that. Let me just switch back to the PowerPoint presentation here. So similar to visiting a doctor or a nurse from time to time, having x-rays taken, assessments are the same way. You may want to take the assessment maybe once a year, every 2 years for that. So with Ivy Career Strong, I believe you can take it again within 30 days. Yeah, Jess Jagger just put that in there. But in terms of other assessments, there's also Career One Stop, and we do have it hyperlinked in the presentation. So after this, all of you are going to get a copy of it, and you'll be able to click into there. So Career One Stop is great. I really like it because in addition to being able to take additional career assessments, including ONET online, you also can do some more research. So of course you do want to look for a program, a career, a job that matches well with who you are. But we also have to take into account, I'm pretty blunt, we all have bills that need to get paid. So we also want to see what's the typical salary like for some of these careers and jobs. And then there's also Indiana Career Explorer. That's another great one. But again, all of these will allow you to do some more research into those careers and jobs. And I put up here on the next slide, this is what we were just looking at online. You can download that from Ivy Career Strong into this nice report. And then also what's great about Ivy Career Strong is when you go to the top navigation bar and click on tools, you can do a little more exploration. So you can continue to do more research into those career pathways. You can do more research into future education, credentials, and training. And what's really great is the skills builder here. So I'm going to put the cart way before the horse and talk a little bit about future interviews. So whether you're currently working in a career job and you're here at Ivy Tech with us to get a degree for advancement or promotion, or you're planning on joining the military or transferring afterwards, or you are looking for a job, a career-related job after you finish your degree, at some point you will be applying for other opportunities and interviewing. And many candidates, many students tell us, well, how do I talk about myself in an interview? Well, using this resource is great. It'll help to highlight your skills. Many students, believe it or not, many students, based on what human resources staff members tell us and our employer partners, many students are more in danger of shortchanging themselves when it comes to applying for jobs and interviewing. all of you have great skills and abilities, and we want to make sure that we can showcase those when you apply for jobs and when you're interviewing in the future. So when it also comes to the assessment process, what's also nice is it can help give you some additional areas to research, and we're going to talk more about that in a few minutes. But I'm just going to also give the Jason Zink and Mark Woodcock, our career coaches at the Lafayette campus. Jason and Mark, if you wanted to share a little bit about some of your career paths and using some of the career assessment and research over the years. Thanks.
Mark, you want me to take it first?
Sure.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so I have a few things to say that we probably don't have enough time for today, but one of the things that I think is good to think about early on as possible, it's the transferable skills that you have. So a little bit about me, I went to school for secondary education English, and I was a teacher at a very odd public charter school that wound up closing its doors. And when it closed permanently, all I was doing was applying for teaching positions. I was just locked into like, that's the degree that I have, so that's the one job I can do. And I was really struggling to find work. And I was lucky enough that someone at one of the interviews knew a little bit more than I did about those transferable skills. So I didn't get the teaching position, but he contacted me a week later and said, hey, I have this other job as a career coach. It's not exactly teaching, but I think you have the exact skill set that we're looking for. Would you be interested? And so, like I said, luckily he made me like tune in to that kind of thing, but it's totally changed how I structure my resumes and my cover letters, things like that. And I think that's one of the cool things about career coaching is that when we have these conversations with you, as long as you come and meet with us, that we can maybe pull some of those things out. You have no idea how many jobs I didn't get where now I'm kicking myself going, oh, I should have used this as an example. And why didn't I highlight this on my resume? So, you know, in the Career Strong assessment, in any of these, you know, skill builders, those are super helpful, but also meeting with your career coach to talk about them. I wish I had this kind of stuff when I was younger. Do you want me to talk about the filmmaking stuff too, Jessica? Or are we running out of time? Okay, I'll do it really quick. So I'm also, anytime I do one of these assessments, it highlights the artistic side because I'm obsessed with writing screenplays and making films. That's my passion, and that's what I do every waking hour that I'm not at work, basically. So I had to kind of find a balance between my passion and what I'm good at and the kind of work that I like to do and help people. So that's another thing that I think is good to think about. And I found that I can like enrich my current job by utilizing my passion for film. I've only been here 6 months and we've already made two short films, I guess you'd call them, for CCEC. So I think if you could find like a complement to your passion and a balance with your work life, that's ideal. And Mark, I'll hand it off to you because I'm talking too long.
Well, I took a different approach. I kind of had a passion for animals. So that actually brought me over from England to study wolves here in Indiana. Some of you may be aware of Wolf Park. I spent quite a few years out there. Unfortunately, I was offered a job if I got my master's degree, and that's what I did at Purdue. And then I was told that they completely forgot about me and gave the job to somebody else. So I graduated with my master's, but I didn't have a plan. I didn't know any of the things that I know now. And so I struggled to get a job. I became dissatisfied with my degree and my time at Purdue and fell into social work, which led me to a new passion, equipping people with skills to help them become successful. So I've been doing that ever since, and I love doing it. But looking back, I didn't have a clue as to how to plan for my launching career after my master's. I didn't have a clue what my skills were. And so these are some of the things that we're trying to teach you guys to really make sure you don't make those mistakes, that you graduate, jump straight into your career, and hopefully we're satisfied with your direction. So like I said, this assessment here is a very important tool. I've used it and it's spot on for my interests. It's a fun kind of interesting opportunity to look at yourself. And so I thoroughly recommend you having a crack at it and then chatting with us, and let us hear your feedback as well. Let us know if you found it interesting and useful. All right. Thanks, Jess.
Yes, thank you. And Jess Jagger also put in there the little link to career coaches also. And again, we're here to support all of you. That's one of the reasons why, I'll just go off on another tangent here. That's one of the reasons why Ivy Tech has launched the Career Coaching and Employer Connections offices, the CCEC offices at all of the campuses, so that all of you have a career coach who can support you and walk along with you as you go through that process. So thanks again, Jason and Mark. We have a few other resources we wanted to talk about, but again, we just wanted to see if there's any other questions or if any of the CCEC staff wanted to share some advice or tips as well. Again, feel free to jump in if you have any questions or comments, or to put it in the chat box. But there's another really great resource that we love to share with all of you. I think part of it is I really love this resource. And the easiest way to get to it is, well, you can click on the link here, but you want to go to the Ivy Tech CCEC webpage and click on what can I do with this major. So I'm going to open it up in our browser here, and I have it. This is the website here for Career Coaching and Employer Connections, the student page. And you do need to access what can I do with this major from the IB Tech CCEC page. It is a paid resource, so you'll need to get through it that way. It's a resource that IB Tech has purchased access, which is great. So when you have access to these resources, definitely take advantage of it. But once you click on what can I do with this major, it's going to take you to their main website there. And then you can view all majors or search for your particular career, future career, or job. And just because it's at the front, I'm going to showcase accounting. It's the first in the alphabet here. So when we are trying to do some more research into our future career jobs, that career planning and career path, it's always so helpful to know what are some of the areas that we can be working in. And what's great is what can I do with this major website? It'll go through those different areas where you can be using that career, that program, that major. You can also look for the types of employers. What's really helpful is they discuss the strategies as well. And as I'm scrolling to the bottom here, I'll show you some other resources. And I just wanted to mention also that Joyce Baker, one of our career coaches, has also mentioned LinkedIn. That's another great resource as well. And we have some other information from Bryson in there. So definitely connect with your career coaches. They'll be very helpful. But scrolling through here, they will also connect you to some of the professional nationwide associations that are related to that career field or industry. Gives you a little bit more about the outlook, some other resources, and then some additional job posting websites. I'll do a quick plug here for Hire Ivy. Hire Ivy is the website where employers can post who are looking to hire Ivy Tech students and graduates, Ivy Tech talent. And again, I'll just mention quickly, many of our employer-facing staff in the CCEC offices, the employer consultants and the talent connection managers, they are contacted on a regular basis, if not constant, because there are many employers out there looking to get applications from you, from Ivy Tech students and alumni. So those jobs are posted in Hire Ivy. But again, what can I do with this major is another good resource for that. And we also like to highlight, I'm going to go back one page again to our IB Tech CCEC website. They also have another resource on here called Career Advice Videos or Career Spots. And I already have one of them open here. What's nice with the Career Spots videos is they're usually between 2 to 5 minutes long. So really great to take a quick study break if you want to dive a little bit deeper, get some quick advice about your career planning process, job searching, interviewing, really great resource here. But the one that we wanted to share with all of you today is under the Career Ready section in the Career and Self-Development piece. It's only about 2 minutes or so. We'll play that and then we'll have some time to go up some other additional resources and answer any additional questions. And I always tell everyone, whenever I'm running audio visual, keep your fingers crossed that it will work. I do need to toggle between my sound choices. So once I do that, I'm going to go mute. So keep your fingers crossed. We'll have this work.
It's important because one needs to understand who one is so that you can actually connect with the career. Doing a career which is fulfilling, which really speaks to who you are as a person.
Thinking about where am I now? What skills do I have? Where do I want to go? What skills do I need to go there? And talking to people to figure it out.
It's a combination of having the purpose, doing something that we are interested in and that we are engaged in.
What do you see yourself doing? What do you think you might want to do? Do you like working with people?
And although that should start in college with you, it never ends throughout your entire career.
There are a number of tools that are sort of tried and true, surveys and inventories that will really help identify some potential areas of interest. You want to make sure that you are connecting with your professors and also with the Career Development Center and professionals who are in your chosen field to do internships, co-ops.
Finding mentors, finding people in the fields you might be interested in, and kind of picking their brains and understanding what they bring to it, what they understand, their perspective is really important.
The best way to start with that is with your alumni network. Everybody loves to help someone from their alma mater. So you call them up and you say, I'm a student, I'm doing this, and I want to explore this. Can I come for 20 minutes and sit down with you and talk with you?
You've had those discussions, you've placed yourself in a situation or you've made those relationships that when an opportunity does become available, your interests, your desires, your contributions are well known. So when you're thinking about continuous career development, there are opportunities everywhere to do almost anything you would really want if you want to go after it. So it's about realizing those opportunities and then seizing them.
No matter where you are in life, it's about where am I now? Where do I want to be next? And even thinking ahead, maybe next and next and next, right? Thinking a couple steps ahead and figuring out what's my skill set now and what do I need to get there.
Thank you for your patience. I just need to switch back and forth between my audio sources there. And as we start to wrap up our presentation, just to go over some of the research that you can take advantage of from those career assessment resources and the other sites. So looking at your future goals, as we talked about earlier, if you're currently in a career-related position, career job, and you're with us here at Ivy Tech to get a credential or degree for advancement or promotion, we can help you out with that process. For those of you who are finishing your degree and then thinking about military or transfer options, we can also help out with that. And then if you're here getting your degree to go into a career-related job, once again, the CCEC office can help you out with that process, with the job search process. And just a few other pieces, we've been talking about them throughout the presentation. When you're doing that research into your future career, into future jobs, there's the salary, the outlook. Think about some of the day-to-day responsibilities, possibly even responsibilities that may change through the month or through the year. Is there any continuing education, the advancement involved with all of that? And that's again why Ivy Tech has not only put together our new resource, which is the Career Coaching Employer Connection offices, the CCEC offices at all of the campuses, but has also created that website with those additional resources. Because when we are planning out our future career, the career management process, of course, when it comes to the career, we do need to think about the salary and the job title. But, and this is why I love this graphic, there's always so much more that goes into that decision-making process. So the more information that we can get from those assessment resources, from working with our career coach, I saw a lot of discussion in there about networking in the chat, the more likely we can really find as close as possible, nothing's 100% perfect, as close as possible with that match with who we are, with our personalities, with our skills and abilities. And we talked about this a little bit earlier as well, but the assessment process, again, like an X-ray into our personality, into our work personality, certainly feel free to go through, take another assessment every year or 2 years, reevaluate that planning process. It'd definitely be worth it in the end. So I see there's a few more comments in the chat. I'll take a look at those. So we have some additional resources in there. And then we also have the link to our CCEC website as well. But any additional questions, comments?
I just want people to always ask questions. You know, if you're in a class and you're with these classmates, they're now a part of your network. The instructors are, the career coaches are, and it's like, you know, I'm a pretty vocal person, so I volunteer things up pretty easily. You can pretty quickly find out the things that I'm into and that I've experienced. But you don't always get that. So you might not realize that somebody has this wealth of knowledge that you would love to hear about. So I always try to get people ask questions. It always leads to something, I think.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. And Drew also mentioned about the Indiana Small Business Development Center. Chambers of Commerce are great. So thank you for the advice, everyone. But for our students and alumni, any other questions or anything that you thought would have been included that wasn't covered? I know all of you have very busy schedules with your classes, with other commitments. So we're so happy that you were able to join us today. It really means a lot to us to be able to share this time with you and that you're sharing your valuable time with us as well. So thank you to all of our Ivy Tech students, graduates, and friends who've joined us. I also want to thank our Career Coaching Employer Connections staff who are here to support us. And I'll just do one last plug again to our students and alumni. Please feel free to reach out to your career coaches at your campus. We do want to help support you and walk along with you through your career planning process. Two other pieces as well with that. Everyone has a career development portfolio, our current Ivy Tech students. It's similar to your academic completion plan, but instead of having courses in there, it has career milestones. So it's a really great structure that you can use as you're going through your time here at Ivy Tech, and your career coach can help you with those career milestones with the career development portfolio. and also having meetings with your career coach, taking part in career events, employer events. Those are also milestones on the career development portfolio, but you can also use those events to collect more points for Ivy Achieves. So that's also a new initiative this year for Ivy Tech, is the Ivy Achieves My Points. So feel free to reach out to us so we can talk more about that. But any other last minute questions or comments? Thank you, everyone. And once again, thank you for joining us at our first presentation for Career Development Week, National Career Development Week. So for tomorrow on Tuesday, we will also have a presentation by Nathan Messenger from our Sellersburg campus. He's a career coach, and Nathan will be focusing on interviewing and the elevator pitch. On Wednesday, Bryson Maish from our Hamilton County campus will be talking about internships. And then on Thursday, two of our talent connection managers and several of the other staff have been helping them out, but two of our talent connection managers, Sabrina Vary and Tiffany Bear, will be hosting an employer panel. So you also get a chance to hear